Number 1, Allen Iverson is officially ranked as the shortest number pick in NBA draft history. At 6 feet 0 inches, he is 2 inches shorter than the next shortest number 1 pick, Sugo Green. Sugo Green measured in at 6 feet 2 inches and was the number 1 pick of the 1956 NBA draft. Number 2, in the pre-draft player rankings, not the mock drafts but the rankings, it was Utah guard Ray Allen who was ranked first and Hoyas point guard Allen Iverson that was ranked second. Allen Iverson was drafted first though, as most teams are drafting also based on team needs and not just on player rankings. Number 3, of all the names announced at the 1996 NBA draft, it was Jermaine O'Neal picked at number 17 to receive the biggest applause. Why exactly would high schooler Jermaine O'Neal, who was drafted by the Portland Trail Blazers, get the biggest applause in a New York City crowd? It was because local forward John Wallace had significantly slid in the draft, and New Yorkers were getting nervous that New York would draft O'Neal instead. When the Blazers picked O'Neal at 17, that meant that Wallace would be available for the Knicks to pick at 18. Number 4, another interesting note to add to the Knicks pick, on one pre-draft mock, Kobe Bryant was the New York's mock draft pick at number 18. Many prior to the draft were unsure what to make of Bryant and his future potential, and some draft experts felt it was fair to list Bryant at 18. Number 5, most of the second-round players didn't compile great numbers in their careers, but Jeff McInnes led them all with career averages of 9 points, 2 rebounds and 4 assists over a 7-year career. He was selected by the Denver Nuggets. The second-best statistical second-rounder was Hoyas center Ruthella Harrington. Number 6, prior to the NBA draft, Walker was seen as a Magic Johnson-type player who would pass the ball and facilitate the offense. Walker was seen as a great rounder, as Magic was, and was looked at as a great all-around player. All that changed when Walker got to the pros, as he turned into a volume shooter and scorer and not the passer everyone expected. Walker averaged just 3 assists per game as a player, but 17 shots a game in his career. Number 7, Santa Clara senior guard Steve Nash had an interesting player comparison on draft night. Nash was described as a poor man's John Stockton in 1996. Their career averages are not that much different as Nash averaged 14 3 and 8 over his career whereas Stockton finished his career 13 2 and 10. Not a bad comparison after all, except that Nash was not the poor version in the end. Number 8, by far the biggest bust of the 1996 NBA draft has to be Greek power forward Efthymios Rentsias who was selected at number 23. The 6 feet 11 inches forward was drafted by the Denver Nuggets but then opted out of playing in the US and stayed in Europe instead. He didn't officially play in the NBA until 6 years after being drafted, where he logged in 35 games as a Philadelphia 76er. He averaged 1.5 points a game and that was the end of his NBA career. Number 9, Wallace was mocked to be picked in the top 5 before the 1996 draft. After poor individual team workouts and unimpressive player interviews with management, many teams were uninterested and drafted him. Wallace ended up falling 13 slots before being selected. Finally number 10, the 42nd pick of the draft, Randy Livingston, was the player with the most hype coming out of high school of anyone in the draft. The point guard Livingston won Co-Player of the Year his junior year in high school along with then-senior, Jason Kidd. He was ranked ahead of Jerry Stackhouse and Rasheed Wallace in the class of 1993. He ran into a lot of knee injuries in college, and never lived up to his expectations.